in Sylacauga and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. A lengthy list of obituaries this morning. Graveside service for James Dillon Lang, age 13 of Sylacauga, will be Saturday at 1 o'clock from Bemiston Baptist Church in Talladega. In lieu of flowers, contribution can be made in James' memory. Can be made to the Bemiston Baptist Church, Curtis and Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, directing. Funeral service for Mr. Ronnie Jefferson Betts, age 74 of Alexander City, will be Sunday at 3 o'clock from Faith Temple in Alexander City with the Reverend Chase Clower, Dr. Josh Salmons, and Elder Lynn Royal officiating. Burial in the Hillview Memorial Park. The family will receive friends today, 4:30 to 8 o'clock at the funeral home. An additional viewing will be held Saturday from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. at Radney Funeral Home. Mr. Betts died Wednesday at East Alabama Medical Center. He was an active member of the Hillview Baptist Church, where he sang in the choir and served as chairman of the Building and Grounds Committee. He also was a big fan of Southern gospel music, hosted the Sunday morning Gospel Jubilee on Kalijah Country and Gospel Heritage Video on WAXC TV. Radney Funeral Home, Alexander City, directing. Funeral service for Mr. Roy William Red Moore, age 72 of Alexander City, is Saturday at 2 o'clock from the Chapel of Radney Funeral Home. Reverend Andy Kinman officiating. Burial in the Hillview Memorial Park. The family receiving friends today, 5 until 8 at the funeral home. Mr. Moore died Wednesday, September 15th at East Alabama Medical Center. He was a member of the New Pine Grove Baptist Church, Radney Funeral Home, directing. Priscilla Borden, age 68, died September 16th. Community Funeral Home will announce the arrangements. Celebration of life and legacy of Dr. Harold A. Franklin, age 88, is 11 o'clock Saturday at Kelly Springs Missionary Baptist Church, where the Reverend L.L. Jacobs, the pastor. Dr. Horace L. Patterson will deliver the eulogy. Interment with military honors at Pine Hill Memorial Park. The body of Dr. Franklin will lie in state at the church 2 hours prior to the service. The Omega service will be held 10 o'clock and is open to the public. Visitation 12 until 7 tonight at the funeral home. Harold found a church home at Kelly Springs Missionary Baptist Church and remained a member there until his passing. Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary, directing. Celebration of life for Mr. Robert Louis Ziegler, age 59, is Saturday at 1 o'clock from Bethlehem Missionary Baptist Church with Reverend Jesse Blackman officiating. Interment in the Bethlehem City Cemetery. Visitation is today 1 until 7 o'clock at the funeral home. Mask required for all attending. That is Community Funeral Home, directing. Celebration of life for Mrs. Tomoya Deshawn Taylor, age 26, is Saturday at 1 o'clock from New Beginnings Ministries with Dr. DeForest Godfrey officiating. Interment in the Sylacauga Cemetery. Visitation today from 1 until 7 at the funeral home. Mass required for all attending. Community Funeral Home, directing. Celebration of life for Mr. Joe Freeman Freeboy Swain, age 73, is Saturday at noon at Tallahatchie Missionary Baptist Church of Childersburg. Reverend Frederick Jemison officiating. Visitation is today 1 until 7 at the funeral home. Mass required for all attending services. Community Funeral Home, directing. Celebration of life for Mrs. Eveline G. Pitts, age 80, is Saturday at 2 o'clock from Marietta Baptist Church Cemetery in Goodwater. The Reverend William Lang officiating. Visitation today 1 until 7 at the funeral home. Mass required for all attending. Community Funeral Home, directing. Graveside service for Bobby Jean Griffith, age 58, of Sylacauga, Sunday at 2 o'clock from Tallahatchie Cemetery with Brother Gene Griffith officiating. Burial in the Tallahatchie Cemetery. Mr. Griffith died September 14th at Citizens BMC in Talladega. Visitation Sunday, noon until 1:30 at the funeral home. Radley Smith Funeral Home, directing. Graveside service for Gladys Simmons, age 98, is 2 o'clock Saturday at Mount Olive Cemetery, Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary, directing. Funeral service for Kaylee Wisdom Fenori, age 20, is today at 2 o'clock from Radley Smith Funeral Home Chapel. Reverend Mark Deason along with Brother James Cooey officiating. Burial in the Green Hill Cemetery. Radley Smith Funeral Home, directing. Homegoing celebration remembering the life of Christine Jemison, age 95, is today at 11 o'clock from Kelly Springs Memorial Gardens with Pastor L.L. Jacobs officiating. S.M. Goodson Funeral Home, directing. Memorial service for Mr. Billy Glenn, age 82, of Goodwater, is today at 11 o'clock from Armour's Memorial Chapel in Alexander City. Armour's Memorial Funeral Home, directing. And Tammy Michelle Oliver of Talladega died September 14th. Funeral service 2 o'clock Saturday at Earth Street Funeral Home Chapel, with the Reverend Billy Epperson officiating. Burial in the Pine Hill Memorial Park. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service. Michelle was a member of the Limbaugh Chapel Church in Talladega. That's Tammy Michelle Oliver. This obituary report this morning brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. For pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975, Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.